All right, look, one chain pulling, another chain pulling, and it's on all of them. 2 on every one, okay? Now, you'll see guys sometime, and they'll just have one chain straight down, okay? I can tell you, these little pieces of dunnage right here, they're tacked down. I'm gonna see if I can find that little hole right there. That's a nail. And there's a few of them holding that board down. Here's a piece of wood, and then there's another one, and there's 2 more. There's 2 more over there. So let's just say each one of those have a nail in it. And I can see already there's not one in that one. So at best, if they put one in the last 2, then that would be 3 nails in this board if they put one in the middle over there. Right there. Well, we can't see. All right. Now, what happens is whenever you brake, of course, this thing's going to want to roll forward. And when you only have that one piece holding it down, you're counting on these 2 pieces of lumber to keep this thing from rolling forward. And it's not just one, look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's talk about that. Ubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I am 50 plus, and I definitely, sincerely appreciate you guys for subscribing. Now listen, if you had not subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything, brother. It doesn't. And click that little notification bell as well. Listen, go back and watch, well, look at my previous videos and the gaps between videos. I don't upload a lot like I used to. I upload when I believe that I have something that you can actually use, okay? So don't think that I'm gonna blow your inbox up, but it does help your brother out whenever you subscribe, okay? And thumbs up the video. If you got anything to say, put it in the comments. So, man, I've got all this dust flying around. That happens when you open the doors and, you know, trucks are flying by. Anyways, you know, it helps with the algorithms, okay? Whenever you thumbs up and like a video, it also feeds your algorithm as well, which means if you you know, if you like trucking videos and you thumbs up and you like and subscribe to trucking channels, then the algorithms will give you more trucking videos to watch, okay? So it helps you out as well, but I really appreciate when you do it. So you have a load shift. It happens to the best of us. Why did it happen? What could you do to prevent it? We'll talk about that just a little bit, okay? Let me first tell you, load shifts happen to, you know, the best of us, okay? So you don't beat yourself up about it. Just find out what happened, why it happened, and try to avoid that again. Now, some of it you cannot avoid. And again, we're going to discuss a few things. Now, there's no way that I can hit every scenario that a load could shift. But what I can do is talk briefly about the common reasons why load shifts, okay? So jump right in it. Let's assume that you secured the load properly, okay? No sense in going down the rabbit hole of load not being secured properly, because if you don't secure it properly, it's going to shift, okay? It's a real possibility that it will, and if you make it to your destination where the load's still on the trailer and undamaged, it wasn't because you did it right, okay? So let's just assume that you did it properly. On the load on the back of this truck right now, I don't know if I put it before. If not, I'm going to put it right now. Okay, so I have spools, and those spools are originally held in place when they loaded them with little like 1-bys to stop it from rocking while they're loading it, man. That's about all I could tell you. I would not count on those pieces of dunnage to prevent that load from rocking back and forth, okay? And so securing it with one chain straight up and down, is it securing it? Yeah. Will it make it there? Probably. Guys do that all the time, okay? Would I count on it? No. So I'm going to put 2 like I did. I put them on every one, 2, okay? Put 2 chains on every one. And that's because I don't want it to move. Because dunnage, those little pieces down the bottom, will fail. Dunnage fails on layered loads. You can't count on the dunnage to do its job. So you need to try to secure it in a way where even if the dunnage fails, you would have a pretty good chance of that load not moving, okay? And that comes with experience, you know, or you can look at other drivers and see if they're doing something different than what you're doing. If you work here at Melton, then you need to follow the Melton standards. And if you have any questions about that, then on the app there's photos of similar loads. And if you have a question about the exact load you have, then just reach out, and somebody's going to show you, you know, if there's something that you could do different. But you can't count on that dunnage. Dunnage fails, and when a dunnage fails, it can cause a load shift. So that's beyond your control of the dunnage failing. What is in your control is to do everything you can to protect the load if the dunnage fails, meaning you need to put extra straps. You may need to put you know, your own dunnage, extra dunnage, but depending on the load, man, you got to go an extra mile just to protect yourself from their failure. So let's just say you have, this is a common thing. If you're carrying pipe, and I'm talking like polyethylene pipe, PVC pipe, stuff like that. If you've held PVC in your hand, you can tell it's really slick, okay? So imagine a bundle of these slick pipes. I mean, they're just rubbing up against each other. They have no grip, okay? The way they package that PVC pipe is in a group. They bundle it, okay? And then across the bundles, like, you know, let's say you're looking at it straight on, and then there's, you know, the ends of it, they're side by side, and then they're layered, and then around it they'll put these 1-by pieces of wood with a channel cut in it, and then they pop a strap, a plastic strap in it, and it holds this group of pipe together, okay? So only friction of the pipes themselves is keeping those in the center from sliding back and forth, and they already slick. I don't know who thought that bright idea, but let me tell you the next thing they do. They'll stack those in layers, okay? And then they'll put those 1-bys on top of each other, okay? And then that it keeps the dunnage from, I guess, hitting the pipe itself. I don't understand why they come up with that crazy. It's crazy. The problem is if you throw the straps over the pipe, they probably won't let you leave the yard with it like that. They don't want the straps touching the pipe because you can damage it when you winch it down. And I've seen guys drive down the road with the pipes, with the strap on the pipe instead of on the dunnage, and I don't blame you. You know, maybe I've done that before, maybe I haven't. I don't know. But the center of the pipes will slide, man. There's nothing a whole lot you can do to stop that. And then you can put like an X strap across the front of it, which again puts some pressure on the pipe with the straps, which is again something a lot of these shippers don't want you to do. But again, you have to do something in case that dunnage fails. So how does that dunnage fail? Man, I'm tell you exactly how it fails. The plastic straps that they put over the dunnage part of it, the box that they built, that will break. And when it breaks, there's nothing holding the wood now. So it just falls apart. Yes. Now the only thing you got is that piece of strap that you threw supposedly over the dunnage. So when the dunnage failed and it collapsed on itself, it slacked the strap. You follow what I'm saying? So, you got to be creative with these things, okay? And that's just one scenario. But polyethylene pipe, PVC pipe, man, listen, that stuff is super slick. They call them basically a live load, man, because they will move while you're driving. And I might have a picture of a PVC, a polyethylene pipe load that shifted a little bit like this. So it was loaded on the trailer like this, and now it's like that. Okay, not terribly bad. I will admit it might be right here. And if not, it will be soon. Okay. You know, what are you going to do, man? It happens to the best of us, but what they do is they'll load those pipe in layers. So the first layer of pipes, you throw straps. Then they set another layer of pipes and you throw straps. Then it's the final lap, the final layer, and then you throw straps as many as you want across the top of that, right? So those straps are actually touching the pipe. But the problem is the dunnage at the bottom that the pipes are now strapped to, okay? They slide on top of each other because it's just slick pipe. Okay? It's not very easy to keep that stuff from moving, even when you layer strap it down. Okay, so the only thing you can do is continue to keep tightening it down, maybe every 60, 70 miles. You know, I know that sounds like a lot. You got a long way to go. After you stopped a few times and you feel like, well, you know, it's not moving, maybe you can get yourself 100, 150 miles and do it again. But that stuff, you got to strap it tight and you got to keep checking it over and over and over and over again. So you can't always stop the load from moving. But dunnage failure is a way that loads can shift without you actually not securing it properly. You did what you're supposed to do, but the load still shifts. Okay, so it happens. Now, let's talk about some things that, outside of you not securing it properly, that could cause your load to shift. And it's your driving habits. If you are driving too fast, number one problem, brother. Number one problem, because what ends up happening, somebody cuts you off and you have to hard brake. Okay, you're not paying attention, the traffic is coming to a stop and you hard brake. But hard brake, bro, You can have that pipe on your truck if you want to, and then hard brake. You'll be setting your coffee right here on top of them pipe. 100% they coming through the truck because you hard brake. You have to, you know, with loads like that, you have to extend your following distance. If you were following, you know, with a truck length, or 2 truck lengths between you and the one in front of you, you might need to extend that to about 4. I like to be able to see around the truck in front of me. Okay. If you can do that, then that would help you with the hard brakes and pay attention to what's going on. Okay. Now, I know that sounds, man, you just talking. Hey, listen, so much can distract you while you're driving. Change the radio station, then look up and it's too late. That quick. Okay. So hard braking is an issue. Okay. And traveling too fast and having to come to a stop is an issue. So when you got loads like that, you have to slow down. And I'm talking a lot of tall loads that shift easy, side to side or even forward. Okay. And bro, turning left, right, whatever, you really got to slow down in turns. You got to keep your speed slower than you think you might need. You have to slow down because if you have a tall load, whenever you turn, basically, this is what I tell my students: if you turning and you can feel yourself in the seat, you know, kind of like moving from one side to the other, you're turning too fast. You need to avoid feeling the truck.
Say a command.
Exit. Sorry, that's my garment. If you feel yourself moving in the seat, you're traveling a little too fast in the turns, and that will cause a load shift. 100%. We have to slow down with them. So I did that. I was going around a turn, and it was not a sharp turn. It was a interstate change. So it was a gradual turn. I'm going from one interstate to another, or state highway to another. But anyways, a state highway to a interstate. But anyways, I'm making a gradual turn, and I mean, I wasn't going really fast, but I was going a little too hot for the load, and it put enough sideways stress on the dunnage that the dunnage failed, and that load, and it bad. Okay, and I pretty much overstood, like you just saw all those chains on the, you know, I put 2 on every one, and some guys put 1. I oversecure everything. Thank God I did, because you may be talking to me through a jail cell right now. Had that load come off that trailer when it did, or where I was, it was rush hour and everybody moving 60, 70 miles an hour. That load come off that trailer in the middle of the interstate, brother. I'm not, I know a lot of guys may say, man, you just talking crazy. I'm telling you, for real, man, for real. I could be in prison right now. If you think that you're immune to it, you must ain't dealt with lawyers before, and juries that are not full of truck drivers. They don't understand that when dunnage fails, and the best you can do is what you can do to secure a load. They don't care about that. They just, all they care about is some people is dead, and you was driving the truck while all of the stuff fell off of it that caused the death. So what are you gonna do, man? I'm just giving you some information, and that's it. I'm wiping my brow because I'm not running the truck this high. You know, I've been doing it a while, and out of all the loads that I've carried, I've only had that one big one, and then 1 or 2 really slight was the one I'm going to show you. I showed you the PVC polyethylene pipe. It just kind of tilted a little bit, so you probably think, man, it ain't nothing, but to me, that's more than I wanted. Okay, and that photo was at the consignee. Now, I was dropping that load off. I had already driven it all the way to where it needs to be, and you know, it had so much securement on it that it couldn't move any further than it did. But I did take a picture of it, and I've had that a while. That load is old. It's been quite a while back. But I don't have a lot of load shifts because I don't drive like that. And I can tell you, you have one big one like one I probably showed you a picture of, and let me tell you, your sphincter get real tight, boy, and you learn real quick. I'm just going to share the information with you. Hopefully, you guys take serious, man, that your load could shift. And by the way, this is not just flatbed, okay? Because, you know, I was at Swift before I was here, and I drove a reefer, okay? And I did Costco dedicated, and those are all preloaded trailers. And so I picked the trailer up, and I drove it to its destination. And when I got there, you of course you open the doors and back into the bay. And when I went to move the handles, and I started to pull them to unlock the door, I could feel the pressure, the door wanting to come open. So I lashed it back. I went inside and said, hey man, I think we got a problem. So they came out with a forklift to put the forklift against the doors. And then I unlatched them, and the forklift started to back away and let the door open slow. And then eventually he could just back away and the doors open. And the product was kind of tilted outside the door like this. So I slowly backed in and stopped, and they drove the forklift in there and picked it up. The guy said, oh man, that happened all the time, because they don't, the product that was leaning against the door, they're not supposed to load that product the way they loaded it. It was palletized, and it was supposed to have some braces on each side of the pallet, and it didn't have any braces. They just put that, I call it saran wrap, around the load, and then palletized it, but they didn't brace it so that product wouldn't move like that. So you don't have to be on flatbed. Dry vans and refrigerated trailers, they have product inside that lay over as well. So what they gonna do? You know, I'm pretty sure they got ways to make it happen. But when you get a preloaded trailer and it's already got the seal on the door, you can't open it. It ain't like flatbed. We can just we pick up a preloaded trailer. We can throw extra chains, extra straps, whatever we want to. But that's not the case with a dry van. When it's got the seal on the door, that's it. So hey, it happens to the best of us, guys. I hope there's some good information. Listen, if you're thinking about coming to Melton, come on. I got a link down below that helps me out. Let them know that you care about me. Till I see you again, they live undistracted. Here's your boop. Boop.